Okay, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed that panel. Following up on what Mr. Zacharias said about investing in education, I want to address the 300 students that we have online from Latin America, especially from Peru, from the Universidad César Vallejo, from Ecuador, from the Universidad San Francisco de Quito, and also from the state of Guanajuato in Mexico. And I really hope you guys, especially speakers, can help us reach out more students for next year. And now, following up on that, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is the insecurity in Latin America, which is the biggest topic when we talk about risks in a region. So for that, we have Dr. Lea Jimenez, who is coming from the Development Bank from Latin America and the Caribbean, who gracefully are also the main sponsors of this summit. And thanks to them, we were able to subsidize a couple of tickets for some students. So please welcome Dr. Jimenez to this conversation. Please, a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. It's a true pleasure and honor to be here with you today at Oxford University. I have the honor to talk about the elephant in the room. It's hard, but we have to do it. Oxford is an institution synonymous with global dialogue, rigorous debate, and commitment to shaping for a better future. We are here to discuss Latin America and the Caribbean region role in the world economy. And I want to talk about something that rarely tops the agenda at business summits, but really should. I want to talk about security and justice. I do not want to address them as burdens, but as levers for development, for innovation, and regional cohesion. Our region has everything, absolutely everything the world needs: food, water, energy, an incredible biodiversity, minerals or metals for the digital and energy transition, and more importantly, above all, it has an amazing and young human capital. What we need is more investment. And key precursors for investments are better regulation and better institutions to support the rule of law and democratic governance. At a time when the world is seeing the highest number of conflict in recent history, the message for us is clear. Without security and justice, there is no sustainable and inclusive development. And without sustainable and inclusive development, there is no security and justice. CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, has been working on this intersection for over a decade. Our 2014 flagship report was among the first from a multilateral institution to address crime prevention and control head-on. Since then, global agendas like SDGs, particularly Goal 16, have reinforced what we have long known. Security and justice are not peripheral aspects of development. They are foundational. Latin America and the Caribbean faces a twofold challenge: high levels of violence and institutional fragility. The region has the highest homicide rate in the world. Over 400 people are murdered every day, and more than half of these crimes are tied to organized crime. But these numbers do not tell the full story. Each statistic hides a human face, a fractured community, a family whose future was erased. And these consequences are not evenly shared across the population. Young people, women, and the poor bear the brunt. The cost of this violence are staggering, about 3.5% of the region's GDP annually, and this is likely an underestimate. These resources could be used on education, health, infrastructure, but beyond the numbers, the erosion of public trust is profound. In most of the region countries, less than half of the population trust the police. In some, it is close to 1 in 4. According to Latino Barometro, only 23% of Latin Americans trust in the impartiality of the justice system. 63% believe they are not equal before the law, and 80% perceive justice in their countries as unfair or very unfair. Meanwhile, organized crime is expanding rapidly, making our region a global hub for illicit activities and markets, from drug trafficking and cybercrime to illegal mining and environmental destruction. That is, illicit players have managed to integrate the region. We have long talked about the need to integrate the region. They have managed to do it and to exploit the region's young human capital and natural resources for their benefit. According to the Global Alliance Against Organized Crime, in 12 of the world's 15 major illicit economies, Latin America and the Caribbean region plays a leading role. This security crisis is unfolding against a complex social backdrop. We are a region with over 21 million young people who neither study nor work. It was mentioned before in the panel. This is 1 in 5. And women are nearly twice as likely to fall into this category. Labor informality, which was also mentioned in the previous panel, remains one of the most persistent structural challenges in Latin America and the Caribbean. On average, about 50% of workers in the region are employed informally. In some countries, it gets as high as 70%, meaning they lack formal contracts, social protection, and access to benefits like health insurance and pensions. We also remain highly unequal. These aren't just social challenges. They are a developmental fault line. They feed exclusion and vulnerability to criminal activities and networks. However, given their magnitude, their importance, these challenges are also where the transformation of our region begins. In recent years, we have seen a promising shift across the region. Governments, development agencies and partners, and academia are beginning to see security and justice not as isolated issues, but as fundamental to economic growth and social cohesion. We have also seen a growing consensus on the need to address the root causes of low productivity, institutional weakness, corruption, inequality, and exclusion. Topmost among them, insufficient investment in human capital. There is also a deeper recognition that human capital investment is a broad concept where good nutrition, adequate housing, quality healthcare, education, and a safe environment to grow are all threads in a continuous fabric that leads to better quality jobs and formal employment, essential for improving the quality of life of current and future generations and keeping our youth out of trouble. At CAF, we are proud to contribute to this shift. Our new strategic framework for security and justice was launched last March, is designed to move us from strategy to action. This strategy focuses on long-term impact, not quick fixes. The framework centers on 5 key pillars: prevention and protection, meaning investing upstream before violence takes hold; police and criminal investigation, meaning strengthening professional capacity and public trust; judicial effectiveness, the rule of law, meaning ensuring timely, fair, and transparent justice; penitentiary reform, meaning modernizing systems to rehabilitate and not just punish; social reintegration, meaning helping victims and offenders rebuild lives and communities. These pillars are guided by three principles: international cooperation, data and evidence-based policy making, and democratic governance and citizen participation. We are all important in this challenge. Security and justice are not just a responsibility of the state. They are the foundation of trust. And trust is the currency of thriving societies. It is what allows a young entrepreneur to take a risk. It is what draws long-term investment. It is what transforms economies into communities. Across the region, people aren't waiting for change. They are building it. In Colombia, restorative justice is healing victims and offenders alike. In Mexico, blockchain is being used to improve transparency in public contracting. In Guatemala, women are leading reconciliation efforts in post-conflict zones. Some of the most powerful examples of social reintegration come from partnership between the state and the private sector. One such example is that of Chile, MAS R, led by the Ministry of Justice and Human Rights of Chile, developed together with the Military Institution of Public Security and Penitentiary, and with strong and sustained support from SOFOFA, Chile's Manufacturing Association, and private companies. The public sector part of the program is to provide vocational training and apprenticeship for inmates in sectors like metalwork, construction, and agriculture, often inside prisons. On the private sector side, over 100 companies have committed to hiring graduates or offering training facilities. This is a nationwide scale collaboration showing how industry can help build pathways out of prison, break the cycle of exclusion, and invest in our most precious capital, the human capital. These are not isolated examples. They are signs of a deeper shift. And we can do more. We can really do much more. Imagine a Latin America where countries trade legal standards alongside goods, where justice, tech, startups collaborate across borders, where institutions are so strong that corruption simply cannot thrive. This is not a dream. It is a strategic horizon, and one that requires alignment between public institutions, civil society, and the private sector. Let me end with this. Security and justice are often viewed as obstacles to development. But what if we flip the script? What if they are our best bet, our catalyst for inclusion, competitiveness, and cohesion, for the long-awaited goal of regional integration? We always talk about regional integration. We still have so much to do in that area. At CAF, we are committed to helping countries in our region design and implement policies that are comprehensive, sustainable, fit for our complex realities, and that put people, citizens, at the center. Because the truth is, our missions go beyond financing projects. We are not just a bank. It is about enabling progress, real, measurable, and lasting progress in our home, in our communities. To the students, leaders, and change makers in this room, Latin America and the Caribbean region needs you. Let's not shy away from the difficult conversations. Let's lead them with the clarity and the courage needed so that we can unleash the region's potential. Thank you very much.